Hey everybody, this is Constant Revolution. We're here back again with Jim. For part 2 of our collector's perspective, we want to showcase some of the sleeper watches. I would say it's the sleeper head watches of his collection. So Jim, you want to tell our audience a little bit more about what is actually a sleeper head?
Yeah, sleeper head is a watch that basically underrated. Maybe it's not very well marketed by the brand, but there are great products and just most people are not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So
no
I guess
doubt.
we're trying to expose, I guess we're trying to figure out like what this is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be surprised that many big brands that you actually know, they do have sleeper head models, and we brought some here. These are all part of Jim collection as well. So why not we start with what's on your wrist, Jim?
Yeah, so this one is a Omega 321 Canopus Gold. It is, it's technically mostly white gold, but it has palladium, has other stabilizing materials in there that makes it long lasting. I enjoyed it because it is, again, it's one of the biggest sleeper hits from
My
Omega.
God, yes. I didn't have any idea that this was actually launched. I follow watches professionally, but I don't even know that this watch was launched, so that makes it a great sleeper head, and it's really hefty. Canopus Gold is actually a hybrid material that is patented by Omega, right?
Yep,
So it's white gold and palladium and all that.
A number of different material they put in there.
So the first ever Speedmaster was the reference 2915, introduced in 1957. So this is actually the whole re-edition of that. Beautiful pump pushers. I like the thin bezel as well. This is a very prominent thing of 2915. Broad arrow hands, of course.
Yes.
You gotta talk about the broad arrow hands. That's how many of the collectors actually differentiate between the different transition of the Speedmasters. Oh yeah, wow, this is, the dial is actually not a regular black dial, which I thought was a normal glossy black dial, but it's onyx, which is insane. Enamel markers on the bezel. And of course, the flat link bracelet is amazing. I mean, with this hooded buckle as well, it is the true reissue of the 1957 2915. And gotta talk about the movement as well. It's the 321 movement, the original movement that was built into the 1957 Speedmaster as well. So tell me more about this watch, Jim. Why do you like this watch?
It is a re-edition of the famous CK2915-1, and this is like one of sort of the Omega Grail watches, but this is like the modern versions of it. 321 movement is the really the grill.
It's
right?
the grill, yeah. 321 movement is actually based on this chronograph by Lemane. It's Lemane 2310. Omega actually did their touch on the 2310. And then of course they named the movement the 27-CH-12, which is a 27mm diameter movement with the 12-hour counter. That was the first Omega issued 321 caliber before it was called the 321. It's actually rather expensive to produce, and that's why Omega ended up changing it to the 861 caliber, which is way more industrialized, way easier to produce in mass numbers, and that's the reason why 321s now are considered grails. The best of both worlds is here. You have a faithfully reissued 2915 in exquisite materials. You have onyx style, you have enamel, you have also the Canopus Gold, yet you still have the original 321 as well. So that's awesome. So fantastic. We'll move on to the next piece. I would like to go with H.Moser. I think this is a really awesome one. So this is the H.Moser Pioneer cylindrical tourbillon skeleton.
So this Moser won a GPHG award.
Yes, I saw
last year. This is the first time ever that Moser built a skeleton, and they invented a new hairspring.
Wow.
If you look at in great detail there's two Breguet hand on both sides, both ends.
Ooh, wow.
And then it's almost like a heartbeat. This is obviously one of the Grail watch that I collected just recently. It is sleeper hits because everyone known Moser for Streamliner and
Streamliner,
all the other ones, but this is, to me, is the sleeper hits.
Yeah, so H.Moser is actually an independent brand that has been getting a lot of traction recently. A lot of people are collecting Mosers now, and H.Moser is famous for an independent brand that likes to do very avant-garde stuff. Right, full blacked out, with the Venta black, and all this kind of stuff, with the Apple Watch look-alike, the Swiss Alp watch, and all that kind of stuff. You hardly see anybody actually talk about this, which is a technological marvel. And this is a tourbillon, a skeleton tourbillon with a skeletonized rotor as well, fully skeletonized, and you can actually swim with this watch, right? So it's 5 bars.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So try and find a tourbillon that you can swim with, man. It's not easy. Yeah, when I saw this, when it was launched, I was at a Sincere event in Singapore, of course.
Yeah.
And they actually introduced this watch as well. The watch was there, but it hardly get any traction and attention. But I feel that there's such a missed opportunity because this watch is amazing on its own right.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of collectors that don't really know much about this particular watch.
But I think this thing is like hairspring is one of those things like most people don't.
Geeks, basically. We are watch geeks. Come on, Jim. Let's just, you know. There are watch geeks that are interested in more for finishing. There are more watch geeks in terms of design, and people like us, they are more technical. And this is one of them that I think it's really interesting because I didn't know that you can make tourbillon like this. I didn't know that you can create skeletonization like this. And what's more better that you put 2 on 2 together. I think the next brand is something that many people don't really know much about. I'm talking about the Blancpain. This is his Blancpain Batiscat chronograph in full ceramic and with a beautiful green and green dial with a green ceramic bezel. This is not a brand that is usually get a lot of attention from collectors. What makes you want to own this watch, man? Like, what's special about this watch?
Well, I've been trying to figure out like what would be sort of my favorite diving watch, and I felt like after searching high and low, I felt like, well, let's go look at the history and who actually still exists today.
Watch geeks. You are a watch geek.
and I think Blancpain came to be the first one, and they invented a lot of different things that, you know, in the early days.
It's quite impressive actually, in the early 50s especially.
Like the ring, the rubber ring and all that stuff. And I realized like, okay, let's start with that. And then let's go find the best iterations of this. And then I ran into this piece here. And I realized like, wow, they got everything right, including the colors, including sort of the strap here with sailcloth with the rubber. And you start noticing like little details like the fact that it is green ceramic bezel.
So green ceramic bezel, and one thing that I think a lot of people don't really know is the date wheel itself is also the same color, which is a missed opportunity for a lot of brands, to be honest. They always use white or black, but you know, because you know you have a upright date window, but if it's in a different color, it's very, very obvious. But if you put it in, you know, pretty much the similar color to the dial, it works way better. You
can see the back here as well. I think what you notice is like the quality, you can see the work.
You know, mostly, you know, Swiss watches, they have Geneva stripes, you know, they have pelaging and all that kind of stuff. But I like that they went for the highest tier of being industrial. They just went chromatic. We both share the Bulgari Sijima, right? We both have the Sijima. And I think it's a little bit similar, like it's like mirror finish, chromatic kind of style, which I think both
certain vibe. There's certain vibe.
And of course, gotta say the rotor itself it has this frosted finishing, which I think is beautiful as well. So these are the things that you guys these are missed opportunities, man. These sleepers are available. They are really available. They are there, and you just gotta have you just gotta give them a chance and feel it. And look at them, and you might have a different, you know, you might have a different opinion at the end of the day, right? And that's why the reason why you get this watch. So of course, right now we're gonna talk about the last watch here, which is a brand that everybody is familiar of. Incidentally, this model itself is not really that known. Might be known to some of you guys in the hot horology world, I guess, but for the most of us, we might not even have the chance to actually touch this watch. I'm talking about this, the Audemars Piguet. You can tell me what it is, Jim.
Yes, this is Code 1159 skeleton with flying tourbillon.
Amazing.
And manual wind. And the reason I like this piece is, first of all, it highlights the brilliance of this case design.
It's really amazing,
if you notice here, the outer ring form a bezel, like almost a bezel, which is Code 1159 are notoriously hard to build around. It's hard to build out of this cases. Like, to me, there's only very few movement or complication that goes well with this case.
Okay, you might not understand. Code 11 cases are not easy to do. You know, the AP took a lot of years to R&D to create the case, just the case alone. We haven't even started talking about the movement, you know. The Code 1159 is something that is just different. just something that is away from, you know, AP signature Royal Oak, which I think is really cool.
It's completely opposite of Royal Oak.
Yep.
Royal Oak has a very prominent bezel.
Yes.
This is bezel-less, right? The issue with having a case that is bezel-less is that, well, the most interesting part of the watch is bezel. When you don't have it, then you have to like come up with something interesting.
Cool.
To fill that needs, right? So which is sort of the good and bad about this case is like, well, you have to put interesting movement, you have to put interesting dial, because it is a huge surface area to display something.
It's like a huge sacrifice. Like you make this amazing case, but you take away the bezel. You need to create everything else that it needs to fulfill the overall design.
Right. It's like a fishbowl. It's like if you have a big fishbowl, like you've got to put in interesting fishes.
Oh, that's a great analogy actually. That is interesting. I mean, it's amazing. Look at the symmetry of the watch. You know, the flying tourbillon is amazing. I like that it has a very, very thin needle hands, which I think is a nice touch because it's such a delicate design. The watch is fully skeletonized, like I mean fully skeletonized. And AP are notoriously famous for their open work, which I think is amazing. They have different finishing on the bridges. They have different materials.
I mean, they really have to spend a lot of time to redesign the skeletonized thing. It's like the layout is very symmetrical.
It's amazing. I mean, it is really something you need to touch and feel and see in the flesh to really understand. I think picture don't really do this watch justice. I'm a big fan of the Code 1159 from all the reasons that I stated before. And I think that this one takes the cake, man. And I think there's nothing else in the market quite like it. And that's what a lot of people don't really notice, that Code 1159 case is unique. It's unique in the industry. And I think that is something that we should give Audemars Piguet credit for.
Correct.
That's,
One of the trick that I've learned from this specifically for Code 1159 is go buy a strap from AP. They sell them, but it's like you have to like figure out the right strap. This comes with a gray strap, and it definitely does not work.
Oh, really?
As well as this one.
So this is also another AP strap as well?
This is another AP straps, but this one definitely highlight the case.
Oh, wow.
Elevated the case.
That's interesting because I thought that this was a stock strap. I was gonna say that, oh my God, how beautiful this
is beautiful.
Is. Yeah.
You just have to like buy another one and then put them on until find one that works.
I mean, to me, I think collecting watches is a very personal thing. And I think that's part of the beauty in it. Some of my watches are like my companion when you have like stressful period during the day, or you know, they have a difficult time. Sometimes it's just you and your watch, man. It might be a little bit crazy for the masses to understand, but for the watch guys, I think this is something quite common. I think this is something that we share as well. What about you, man? Like,
well, you just basically point at the right thing, which is I always feel like a watch is like your imaginary friends. When you grow up, like you have imaginary friends. It's always be friendly to you. It's always there with you. So it's like this is again. I feel like when you wear the right watch, I think the key is like you got to find the right watch.
It's true.
It'll bring you a little bit more calm. It's always there, you know, with you.
You know, and the thing about why I love watches, you know, why I love timepieces and why I love horology in general, I think it's such a physical like emotion thing that I can't really begin to explain it to people that don't understand it. But that's the best thing about the community, you see. You understand it, I understand it, and we can share this love together. I think that's wonderful, and you know, it's amazing thing to have, and you know, I hope that you know you guys can actually feel it too. And if you're not, then well, start buying watches then. Right? Thanks, Jim. Thank you for coming again. You know, I'm always happy to welcome you back to Revolution. Of course, I wish you to come back again for another episode, and hope for some new NWAs then. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoy this series. Thank you.
Bye.